May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke Audio mini podcast, A Brief Memory. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable and free from financial difficulty and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. Okay, today's brief memory comes from Elson B. Snow, editor of The Wheel of Dharma. That's I believe that is, I'm not sure, but I think it's Jodo Shinshu, Buddhist Churches of America publication. And it comes from page 117 of Ananda Claude Dallenberg's Cloud Hidden Friends, issue number 2. Incidentally, all of those, minus I think 2 that I haven't been able to find, are on Cuke.com, and they're really priceless. You know, Claude gave a complete set to the library at the San Francisco Zen Center's City Center, and then we had a librarian who threw out books that nobody had checked out and threw it out. It was this priceless bit of history with people like Gary Snyder and Marion Mountain writing letters, and I never wrote one. I should have. He asked me to. He said I couldn't get a copy unless I contributed. And, you know, I was busy doing stuff. Now I regret it. But anyway, I have all but 2 on Cuke.com. And there's just all sorts of little letters and things posted. And they're, you know, like a cheap little, you know, just a photocopy thing. But anyway, so Elson B. Snow wrote in the middle of his letter, which had another purpose. This was back in the stamp days, you know. I mean, yeah, well, I think there was email at the time, but not for Ananda. You had to mail it. All right. So anyway, in his letter, he says, my wife and I visited Shunryu Suzuki Roshi shortly after our marriage. And when we had declared ourselves Shin Buddhists, a Zen student said, Shin is for ignorant people. Zen is for the intelligent. My wife replied, that is why you are Zen and I am Shin. Oh. I waited for Roshi to offer an appropriate sermon, but the old monk merely laughed and laughed. That's an awfully gracious response of his wife. Good for her. So that's it. And the rest of it says other things like, hopefully, hobo friends. He calls Claude's. This is Claude's Cloud Hidden Friends. He calls it hobo friends. Will include the poet Isa and the Myokonin of this muddy world in their spiritual lineage. And Myokonin are followers of Shin Buddhism. And I was just looking up the meaning of the word, and it said, it means, nin is person, so myoko, excellent, wondrous person. Let's see, what else does he go on to say here? And it's a strange little letter. I love the Cloud Hidden Friends newsletters. It says, the motive for writing this letter is to urge someone on this unwieldy staff, which is entirely Ananda, to write a review of Will Peterson's excellent journal, The Plucked Chicken. Uh-oh, did you hear that? I almost said The Plucked Kitchen. And now I regret having laughed at Kobun for calling the kitchen its chicken. Here is an old Dharma friend, a man of Zen complexion. Always I have considered myself a proletarian of Amida's great assembly, but never a hobo until Ananda the clerk, at a very late date, found that long life is not old age. And that's in italics. My Buddhist career began 30 years ago with a fistful of Koya-san icon picture postcards, and now approaching the end of life, smelling of incense. Elson B. Snow, editor, Wheel of Dharma. You know Koya-san? That's the Shingon mountain in, I think it's in Nara. Katrinka and I went there 7 years ago, 7.5 years ago. Wonderful. Boy, it's a great place to go if you're in Japan. When he says, I've considered myself a proletarian of Amida's great assembly, Amida, Jodo Shinshu, he says he's a Shin Buddhist, that's Jodo Shinshu. They chant Namo Amida Butsu. Amida is the Buddha of the sort of like of one of the paradises, Eastern or Western, I forget. But it's more of a what's called an other power type of Buddhism. Zen self-power and Shin is other power. But they each have the other, of course. Nothing's all self-power. That's ridiculous. And nothing's all other power. All right. Well, thank you very much. Oh, well, let me say something about some rude, might not necessarily have been a student anyway. It was somebody who was there. Sounds like it was pretty early, 60s. Somebody saying, Shin is for ignorant people, Zen is for the intelligent. God, awful. Suzuki liked Shin Buddhism. I mean, the Buddhist Churches of America was just up the street and a left at the corner in the middle of the block on the right. And he was very close with the abbot there of that temple. And Reverend Ogui from there sat with him, and they were very close. And we've got a great deal from Reverend Ogui on Cuke.com. Anyway, all right. Well, that's enough of all that. Thank you, Elson B. Snow. This has been a Cuke Audio mini podcast, A Brief Memory. I'm D.C. Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from sleepy Sanur with Doggett, Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.